Back here for the top of the fifth at the 2026 Northwoods League All-Star Game. Christian Bandis still on the bump from the Lacrosse Loggers. The left-hander back out for his second different frame of work, and we are pleased to be joined in the booth by not only a 2016 World Series MVP, but one of 400 Northwoods League MLB alumni, and Mr. Ben Zobrist. Ben, thanks so much for doing this. Welcome to the booth.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How's the experience been so far today? I know you threw out the first pitch earlier before the ball game today, but taking this all in, what has this been like for you?
Well, it's a special experience, not just because of Field of Dreams, but I mean this view is really special in the new ballpark. With the cornfields out there and the fans here. But earlier today, getting that chance to actually share something with the guys that are out there on the field right now was really special to see them lock in and ask some really great questions. So really fun experience for me today.
This is Jake Stedman from the Battle Creek Battle Jacks leading things off and taking ball one up and away. He's 0 for 1 with a punch out today. Hey, before we dive into baseball, first of all, congratulations on becoming an author. Your new book, Prepare for the Pressure, 9 Strategies to be Courageous, Consistent, and Resilient When It Matters Most, came out yesterday. What was that like for you to go through that process and developing that, and why did you feel like now was the right time to release that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I never saw myself as an author, certainly not when I was playing baseball. But, it definitely has stretched me into really wanting to share some of the advice and things that I learned over the course of my career. And, as I've done a lot of mental and emotional work after my career, I've realized it's not just for the athletes that need it. It's for the people that are around them, that are supporting them, their parents, their coaches, and the whole game right now, just because I think it's changed quite a bit in the last 10, 20 years, especially if you give, NIL in part of that conversation and the monetization of just youth sports. So part of the book for me, the impetus was, man, what can I do to help share some wisdom, but also try to make the sports experience, return it back to a better form.
3-1 here. And that's in the dirt for ball 4. Stedman on base for the first time tonight out of the 8th spot. So he's still 0 for 1. You had the chance, you mentioned, to speak to all of these Northwoods League All-Stars and coaches earlier today. What was the biggest thing that you hope they took away from what you said?
Well, I got to share some of the book principles with them as much as I had time for, but I really hope that they take into account the opportunity they have right now, and instead of looking at like what they want to do or where they're going to be, to just really focus on today and enjoy this experience. Stay really locked in with that, because I think when you stay present and locked in, I think at the same time being willing to be coachable, I think is a little bit of a lost art for young athletes, because they play so many games. There's so much performance involved that it's like, where's the development at the younger ages? But I think a lot of these college guys are in programs that are trying to develop them. It's tough when they're switching schools a lot, but if they can stay present and stay focused on developing today, it's not as important that they're performing really well on the field as it is that they know what they're really working towards and working on for themselves. And if they stay focused on those things, then I hope they take that away, and I believe that ends up turning into performance on the field.
Absolutely love that. New arm on the bump, another lefty for the Great Plains. This is Brock Adamson from the Eau Claire Express out of Cal State Bakersfield. 9 appearances out of the bullpen for him this year. A 1-0 record and a sub-2.7 ERA in 17 complete innings. He just announced his commitment to Missouri State not too long ago, a D1 out of Conference USA. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the Northwoods League. So you were once in these guys' shoes back in the day, all the way back in 2003 with the then Wisconsin Woodchucks. You played 57 games the entire summer. You were part of that championship squad. You hit just under 320 with a 420 on base. When you think back to that summer in the Northwoods League, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
A pretty special experience for me overall, but I think it's probably the mentorship of Steve Foster, who was my manager at the time. I think having him involved, I mean, he's stayed involved in my life in various ways, and he's still coaching actually one of the players that just pitched here, Bryce. an inning ago, is still being coached by Foss down at Texas Tech, and he's just such a powerful, inspirational guy. And being involved with that team, we watched that team have a hiccup right at the end of the season, and still we end up going through the playoffs without some of our best pitchers, and ended up winning that championship. So very, very special summer of great memories.
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier, interviewing you earlier today about the fake champagne, grape soda kind of
Yeah.
champagne shower that you guys had. Is it true that you actually shaved Foster's head on the field after you guys won that?
Yeah, well, I don't think I actually touched the razor. There was too many other people that were really excited about that. So, but yes, I was there. It happened, and fans were there. It was an incredible community experience winning, right there in Wausau.
What made Wausau so special itself?
Well, we had great host families too. I remember my host dad was Glenn Lamping. He had 3 sons at the he's just a really great dude that opened up his basement to me and another player on the team. And when you have great support around you, there was also friends of my family that lived in the area, and they invited us over for dinner. And it's just a really special Midwest place.
Tapper back to the mound, could be 2, but the throw gets into left center. Stedman thinking about 3. That throw is airmailed. Good backup from the pitcher in Adamson. So runners on the corners after a couple of errors. And the Lakes might be cooking here with guys on the corners and nobody gone here in the top of the 5th. Well, Ben, you were drafted a summer after you played in the Northwoods League. When you look back now, how much did that Northwoods League experience help you prepare for what professional baseball was actually like?
Yeah, I think it had a lot to do with me understanding what I was getting into, because at the time I was told by Foster, he said, I've been around professional baseball for a long time. He had played himself. He was also a scout, had done some coaching already in the Marlin system at that time before he was here in this league. And he was like, this is going to be the best thing to prepare you for professional baseball. And when he saw me play, he said, listen, he was one of the guys in my story that believed in me. One of the things I write about in the book is people that have, faith in you when you don't necessarily have all that faith in yourself. And he looked at me and he's like, you're going to play professionally. He said, and I did get an offer that summer playing with Wausau. And he advised me at the time. He said, listen, if you sign this, he said, you can do it and it'd be good. He said, but I bet if you go back and play next year, you're going to get more money and be more of a priority to that organization. And he was right. He was right. So when you have those kind of mentors around you and you're playing with great players and guys that want to win, there was guys on that team that really, really, they didn't win in their college team much at all. And I remember them saying, I am here to win. So let's win it all. And we ended up doing that.
This is pop foul from Jackson Thomas of the Richmond Flying Mummies, the newest team in the Northwoods League. Sophomore out of Tampa, Florida from Georgetown. Team leader in average, hitting .330 through 28 games this year. Okay, Ben, so from what you've watched so far from these guys, what has impressed you the most about this batch of All-Stars?
Well, so far we've seen some really good defensive plays I've seen out there. Good footwork, good glove work, that type of thing. And, anytime I see fundamentally good baseball, I'm as a traditional guy who likes watching the game played the right way, it just makes me go, okay, that's a guy that is a winning player, right? Because you know that you're going to have to do those little things right to win ball games. And so a lot of these players out here have been in winning programs, or they're in a winning organization right now this summer. But I told them this afternoon that it is about the details. It's not about what happens at the end of the game or what your stats are. Are you paying attention to the details you need to do?
Cut on and missed. A good-looking breaking ball there from Adamson for his first punch-out, as Thomas is the first out of the top of the 5th. Ben, when you look back at that 2003 summer for you, what were the biggest things that you worked on specifically in your game that year?
Well, I do remember one of the things at shortstop I did a lot that I had never really done before, speaking of that footwork, is I really tried to get around every baseball. So a ball was hit right at me, and I almost charged almost everything because we had long grass in Wausau, in Wisconsin there. And I was like, if I don't charge the ball, it's not going to get to me. And I'm a tall guy, so I was throwing on the run a lot. And I ended up using that a lot when I played shortstop in the major leagues, and it really benefited me.
Runner takes off from first, pitches high. The throw down is in plenty of time to get LeGrand. Two gone, runner still on third as the new second baseman and Evans from the Badlands Big Sticks applies the tag. That's another new big stick behind the plate as well, and Chayton Fisher making that throw down. Good 2-0 count here, though, for Brendan Thompson, who we saw in the home run challenge yesterday.
That's the other thing you're realizing is a lot of these guys are playing with wood bats for the first time all summer long, and it is less forgiving on the bat. So you got to find the barrel a lot. So that was something I was really working on a lot, is just finding the barrel. I wasn't trying to hit for power. I did occasionally drive one, but for me it was more focused on, am I having quality at bats against good pitching, and am I finding a barrel? And if I do that, by and large, I'm going to do what I need to be doing to help us score runs. 3-1
is high for ball four. Well, you talk about that. A lot of people don't realize, sure, some guys hit 330, 340 in college ball, and then you put a wood bat in their hands, and a good batting average in these kinds of leagues hovers around 250, 260. People don't realize once you put that new lumber in your hands, it's a lot harder to hit, and it's a big adjustment for these guys to make.
It is. I mean, it's a confidence challenge for sure, especially when you're used to using a metal bat and you can pop a few a lot easier. This is like, it's not going to jump quite as easily, but you're going to have to really just get used to what it feels like off the bat and make those quick adjustments. So if you're hitting it off the end, you're hitting it off the handle, you got to make faster adjustments to make sure you find the barrel.
Another Richmond flying mummy here at the plate into Bosky, loops it into shallow center, falling fast, and that's down. Stedman comes home to score. Throw goes to third on a hop in time. Oh, what a beauty on a throw from the outfield. Geislinger guns him down at third. You said you like to see the game played the right way, Ben. There you go, out number 3 on a beauty, huh?
Geislinger? Did you say gunslinger? Because that was legit. That was awesome.
Ben, thanks so much for joining us in the broadcast booth. Go enjoy the rest of this All-Star game.
Okay, thanks.
Ben Zobrist joining us. Thanks so much to him. This is the 2026 Northwoods League All-Star Game on Flow Sports.